Seriously, guys, whose idea was it to pick clowns? Come on, why did I have to get the clown video? I can't do this. Hello horror fans and welcome back to Top 5 Scary Videos, the scariest channel on YouTube and the place where coulrophobia manifests itself into a twisted, demonic smile of a top 5 list video. What's going on, guys? As per usual, I'll be your horror host Jack Finch as we slip into our oversized red shoes, paint our face into the vision of evil itself and try our hardest not to cry as we take a look at the 5 scariest clown stories that will keep you up at night. Seriously, whose idea was this?
Hi, Georgie. Aren't you gonna say hello?
Back in 2016, the world got a little too weird for its own good, and for some eldritch, unknown reason, the lines between fiction and reality blurred, and a horde of demonic clowns began popping up around the planet. It's enough to make you sick, right? But, well, ever since Tim Curry's Pennywise the Dancing Clown graced our television screens way back when, and the titular novel from Stephen King before that, I've had an unrequited fear for all things clown. Well, I guess it's time for me to face that fear. I just want to put a small disclaimer in here. This video is in no way aimed at professional clowns rooted in the vaudevillian tradition and practicing their art, trying to make a living. You keep doing you, guys, no matter how scared that I am. The word coulrophobia possibly originates from the Greek word kolon, meaning stilt or stilt walkers, a circus performer, or in folklore a cloyne, clod, or a clonus, a stereotypical rustic country bumpkin who categorically lacks common sense. But you can't fool me, clowns, I know you're not stupid. And that's definitely not the case for the first item on this list. Kicking off at our number 5 spot, the killer clown cold case. My fear of clowns aside, this case is just downright horrifying. On the 26th of May 1990, Marlene Warren, a mother and wife from West Palm Beach, Florida, was having breakfast with her 22-year-old son and his friends when a white Chrysler pulled up into the driveway of her home. Strangely, someone dressed as a clown emerged from the car carrying 2 balloons and a flower arrangement. After Marlene Warren had answered the door and reportedly said how nice, the clown reached into his outfit, pulled out a gun and shot Warren point blank in the face. The clown then walked back to the car and calmly drove away. Warren tragically died 2 days later while in hospital under critical care. This insane homicide case remained completely unsolved for a staggering 27 years until DNA technology could finally bring justice to Marlene Warren and her son. At the time, homicide investigators claimed that they had identified a suspect but didn't have enough evidence for conviction. It turned out that Sheila Keene, who later went on to marry Michelle Warren's husband, was the one who donned the clown costume and committed this merciless murder, and a collaboration in life insurance fraud is also suspected. Sheila Keene still awaits conviction. Next up at number 4, the phantom clown theory. You see, there's a reason why the fear of clowns is so widespread. It's a collective memory as a society, and broken down even further into smaller pockets, a community that we share after horror periodically rears its ugly head. Just like in Stephen King's It, where in the town of Derry, Pennywise the clown resurfaces to feast upon children roughly every 27 years, the same happens oftentimes in reality. In this case, back in 1981 in Boston, Massachusetts. On May 6 of the same year, police had received a curious report of 2 men, each wearing clown outfits, driving a suspicious looking van filled with sweets and candy near the city's Longwood School. Yeah, generally avoid that. The next, this thing didn't end there, was a similar report where a man was in the nearby Franklin Park wearing, wait for it, only half a clown suit, naked from the waist down. It wasn't until Lauren Coleman, a renowned cryptozoologist, started noticing a pattern and collated a record of these clown-based incidents from all across the United States. He referred to this phenomenon as the phantom clown theory, an evident social nightmare that featured over 400 separate reported clown incidents from all across the country, but nothing ever came from it. Police could make no connections or find no correlations, and guess what? It happened again. Coming in at our number 3 spot, Agde, France. 1981 to 2014, that's 33 years, so we're safe from the Pennywise 27 years thing. It's pretty close though, right? Just a side note. Whether it's rooted in a strange social phenomena, or people are just downright sick and twisted, or they're possessed by the spirit of a demonic clown, there's no doubting that the clown phenomenon is widely recorded in modern history. On October of 2014, police officials in a number of small towns from across France were warning locals of a very unlikely threat. Clowns. Well, pretty likely if you're me. It started with 4 clowns wielding chainsaws who were found outside a school in northern France. In total, 14 teenagers were arrested in the south of the country after they were found with bats, knives, axes, even pistols and chainsaws. In Bescanon, a man had his hand sliced open by an axe-wielding clown. In Montpellier, 3 clowns beat a 35-year-old man within an inch of his life with iron bars in an attempted robbery. This whole hive of clown activity happened within weeks of each other and sent the French-based population into a clown-based panic. People responded by banding together into neighbourhood anti-clown gangs, much to the dismay of the local police, and were dubbed chasseurs de clowns, self-styled clown hunting vigilantes who took armed response to the mass clown-based panic. Not only is it absolutely terrifying, it's also an incredibly interesting look at social response and a demonstration where mass hysteria can manifest itself into the most bizarrest of forms. Either that, or there's a demonic clown curse somewhere in France. Next up at our number 2 spot, the Tijuana cartel clowns. It's crazy because when you hear stories like this, you can be pretty damn sure that it's something straight out of a Cormac McCarthy novel, but no, as we regularly find to our own hubris, the truth is often stranger than fiction. Back in 2013, while attending a kids party at a rented beach house in Cabo San Lucas in Baja California, the 63-year-old Mexican drug cartel leader Francisco Rafael Oleño Felix was minding his own business and taking in the ferocious Californian sun. As it was a children's party, obviously there were children's entertainers there, clowns. The classic choice. 2 clowns in fact. But no one expected what happened next when said clowns reached into their oversized outfits and pulled out 2 pistols. Francisco was hit by 2 bullets, once in the head and once in the chest. He was killed instantly. It's more than likely this was an organized assassination. The Tijuana cartel was one of the most violent and powerful drug operations since the 90s and thus held a huge target up for rival organizations. Nevertheless, the choice of the clown-based killing is the stuff that nightmares are made of. After the murder, the 2 clowns quickly fled on foot and have never been caught. And finally, at our number 1 spot, John Wayne Gacy. Sometimes true horror hides behind an equally horrific mask. In this case, John Wayne Gacy, aka Pogo the Clown, or Patches the Clown, a psychotic American serial killer who murdered and tortured at least 33 teenage boys and young men between 1972 and 1978 in Cook County, Illinois. For at least 6 years, the community had no idea that the childhood children's entertainer Pogo the Clown was luring young men to his home, often through force or deception, and eventually strangling them to death with a makeshift tourniquet. All of Gacy's murders were committed whilst inside his home in Norwood Park, and he went on to bury 26 bodies of his victims inside the crawl space of his home, completely covered and unknown to the community around him, who considered Gacy to be a charitable, gregarious citizen and an upstanding member of their society. You see, John Wayne Gacy was a predatory killer who hid behind the mask of kindness and charity to disguise his true intentions, his cruel, vile and nightmarish actions, which eventually took the lives of at least 33 people, perhaps more, with zero mercy. Gacy was sentenced to death, and after spending 14 years on death row, he was executed by lethal injection. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today, folks. Cheers for sticking around. It's been a tough one, eh? If you're a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and ding that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest uploads. As per usual, I've been your host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Top 5 Scary Videos, and until next time, you take it easy.